Emmeline Pankhurst's great-granddaughter has a powerful slapdown for Donald Trump.
A century after British women got the vote, Helen Pankhurst condemned the US president's not a feminist stance and told him, "The world has changed."
Donald Trump should look forwards not backwards, the great-granddaughter of suffragette leader Emmeline Pankhurst said following the US president's admission that he is not a feminist. Leading women's rights campaigner Helen Pankhurst spoke about the damaging effect Mr. Trump could have on men's perception of women, after his recent interview with Piers Morgan.
When asked by Morgan if he was a feminist, Mr. Trump said, "That would be going too far," but he added, "I'm for women, I'm for men, I'm for everyone," and said he had tremendous respect for women.
Publicizing her book Deeds Not Words, out on the 100th anniversary of women being given the vote, Ms. Pankhurst said her message to the president would be, "The world has changed, look forwards not backwards."
She said, "I think it's really sad that in 2018 we have as the president of apparently the most powerful place in the world someone who has done the things that he has done and speaks the way that he does."
There is a positive angle to that, in that complacency has woken people up. The feminist movement just has to keep on the ball.
The author believes the president's comments could influence the way men perceive women, citing the case of Playboy magazine, which is still sold in the UK. In her book she writes, it had pledged to stop showing nude female images but reversed the decision in February 2017, emboldened perhaps by the low tide of Donald Trump's election.
Interviewed ahead of the book's launch she said, "There is an inevitability that he has created space for a return to certain values, but then, how many voices, including men's voices, are saying that's not me, I don't want to be associated with that."
The apparent sentiment of his State of the Union address was incompatible with his frequently controversial remarks online, she said.
In the State of the Union address, he talked about conciliation and the importance of working together across the Democrats and Republicans.
On the other hand, his tweets speak in a different way, she said.
Does change happen because of an individual person saying certain things or because of the hundreds of thousands of people in the gray area, the people who sit on the fence, who don't have a strong view?
It's those people's views that need to change.
People in that middle ground need to say, "I don't want to be defined by Trump, I want to be defined by some of the incredible feminists that we have around the table."
Ms. Pankhurst's book details that globally, millions of people are thought to have marched on January 21, 2017, the day after Mr. Trump was inaugurated as president.
An estimated 100,000 were said to have joined London's Women's March.
She said banners and placards including "Trump is what happens when people would rather believe the worst rumors about a woman than the worst facts about a man" encapsulated the argument.
It comes as Theresa May faces demands to pardon more than 1,000 suffragettes who were treated as criminals in their fight for equality.
The calls, including from Jeremy Corbyn and the Tories' Scottish leader Ruth Davidson, come 100 years to the day after the first women were allowed to vote.
Home Secretary Amber Rudd today said she would certainly look at proposals but warned the request was frankly complicated.
She told the BBC, "If you're going to give a legal pardon for things like arson and violence, it's not as straightforward as people think it might be."
Yet Scottish Conservative leader Ruth Davidson said the suffragettes were simply righting the wrong of voting inequality.
Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said, "Labour in government will both pardon the suffragettes and give an official apology for the miscarriages of justice and wider persecution they suffered."
Several female ministers arrived for this morning's cabinet in the green and purple colors of women's suffrage.
Labour's shadow cabinet was due today to meet at a women's foods exhibition.
And Theresa May was due to give a speech in Manchester on the 100th anniversary this lunchtime. She used the occasion to slam the aggressive attitude in politics that has led to online abuse of colleagues like Esther McVey, blamed for Tory welfare cuts.
She told BBC Radio 4's Woman's Hour, "I think we also see, sadly, women often suffering from bullying and harassment on social media."
And this is across the political spectrum.
You know, in my party Esther McVey has particularly suffered from this, but Luciana Berger on the Labour benches has suffered from this.